Welcome back to Waking Up with Plants, where we take an inner hike through topics that we pass in our daily lives and where the plant realm gives us their perspective on these topics, an infusion of wholesome input. And today Shepherd's Spurs joins us. I appreciate this plant deeply. Some of you might know this plant by heart, but for those of you that don't know what this plant looks like, I will try and add a picture of them. I think this is a lovely example of a plant that expresses their qualities so beautifully in their form. I remember very clearly when I saw shepherd's spurs for the first time consciously. They were growing just outside my front door at the time, in the burning heat of the sun, surrounded by paving stones, leaving no gaps, and yet this slender and tough and graceful and friendly looking plant somehow found a way to rise through this with their pure white flowers that then formed in seed buds shaped as a heart and filled with seeds. What a character of a plant. The meaning and the medicine of the plant can be so ready to read for us. It's really the form, their form is the language. Shepherd's Spurs wanted to speak on the topic of today, which is how to change habits. This topic, for those of you who follow me on social media, has been on the list for a while, and now it felt time, and they wanted to share about the way most of us are efforting to try and change habits, certainly when they feel very ingrained in our personality traits, the repetitive behaviors, habits we don't want but feel like concrete really to change. So before we dive in, the message, think of a habit like this, ingrained behavior pattern that you don't experience as beneficial, but nevertheless remains in your days. And with that, I will start reading the message that came through for us from Shepherd's Spurs on efforting, answering the question, how to change habits. Repetitive behaviors, habits that you don't want, can feel like concrete. Let's look at this phrase. It's not so much the sentence itself as the meaning you give to those words, how you frame them. Here it sounds like unwanted habits are unwanted guests in an otherwise more pleasant reality. Ouch! How about those habits belong exactly where they are? They are an integral part of your moment. They are not bad nor good. They just are. Your wanting to change them is a symptom of a running belief that you're not good enough, worthy enough, just as you are. When I look at you all, I don't see any flaws in your design as a person. Can you practice that with me? Just a light attempt maybe. This can be a very hard thing for humans to really embody, that there is never something wrong with you. Behaviors can have different tastes as you practice them, different types of experiences, but they're all equal. How would you know one taste from the other if you'd never tasted? And as you experience the outcome of some behaviors, the way it makes you feel, the way it makes others feel, for example, you might feel the wish to choose something different next time, because the fruits of that behavior are not what you want to manifest. What a gift! Knowing the route to what you don't want, really knowing it through experience, is supportive and intricately related to what you do want. Sometimes you don't even realize what you want until you feel what you don't want. It guides you on your way with signposts which directions you now choose to not follow. So, we arrive at the second half of the sentence, which says, can feel like concrete. You see concrete as a very hard, almost impossible obstacle to pass, to get through. Like the course correction you want is almost impossible to make. I see concrete or tarmac or pavements differently. Just like I see all things differently. I mostly see space. Everything, however solid it may seem, is mostly space, you know. Let this sink in as you take a look around where you are right now. As you take a look at you and try seeing it through my eyes. Atoms are not purely solid matter. They are mostly filled with space, with potential. Potential for spacious pathways is always available, also in the most dense seeming matter or behavior. Efforting to change is resisting what is there, is going into battle with what is. That focus only solidifies your habit. Denying it is pushing it away, which is also fortifying it. How about seeing it is there while not making yourself wrong and knowing you've never lost the option of change? What I'm suggesting is, when you feel yourself in a habit that you don't want, don't go into war with it. Accept that in the moment it is still there and start seeing it as filled with space, full of possibility to move, rearrange, dissolve. This way of looking at it will make a great difference. The possibility that you have a choice here comes back in the picture. Why would you choose to frame it in a way that makes you a victim to the habit? I will share how I rise through pavements, although the most vital part to this I just shared. I rest in a different belief about life, how life's designed, how it works. That's why I don't effort, I map. I don't make things work. I simply observe how they could work, because I know they always can. Life is not designed for beings to suffer without an option to get out of it. Life is intelligence. I want to stress this because the human collective has been inundated with the opposite. And when you start to live in those structures, they come true. Breaking with the habit of believing in victimhood, of not having a choice, or being dysfunctional and unworthy is such a brave move, because evidence of possible pain is all around, so why believe otherwise? Well, because it is that belief structure that enforces it. Let go and it will crumble. I say, practice small and go big. Here is how I rise. I know in my core, in every fiber, the direction I want to move in. And I express that longing outwards. I let it resonate outwards. You can do this in 1,000 different ways, but in any case, get it out. Speak it out loud, write it down, share it. And I map the situation as it is now, including difficulties on my path, like we spoke about. Know your landscape. Then I map my path. You can read this as map your new behaviors, new routines, new structure. And I call in the resources to make my next step. I open myself to the available resources. This is another thing. Know how in every moment of life you have resources close to you to make the next step. I know you know about lack. And yes, all of the natural world has experienced some sort of lack through the ages. Still, I am here to express nothing is lost, and it's possible to thrive on bare grounds, to be filled with minerals and vitamins growing on wastelands. It is the dreaming that calls the resources in. Your imagination creates the path. It doesn't get more powerful than this. Think of yourself as a resourceful being and get creative with what you've got. The support that comes on my path by resonating out my dream to rise up is incredible. Out of nowhere, nourishment pops up. This makes my being overflow with love. This is what happens when we truly receive what is here, including the difficulties we dance with. Everything adds to your unfolding path. As you increasingly experience this, gratitude and love will be the natural fruits that you resonate outwards. Your heart will just start to overflow, and that's in its turn a resource on another's path. Then you've stopped the downward spiraling path of loss of life, and you've found the spiral path upwards where anything can move and anything can change. And that was the end of Shepherd's first message. I'd love to hear if you have any experiences in how resources come on your path or how you find creativity to make changes. I thank Shepherd's Spurs and I thank you for listening, and I connect with you in the next episode.